yeah, let's kick off with 5 minutes of Trump.
And now,
I love the poorly educated.
it's time for
Look at my African American over here.
5
Look at him.
minutes
Are you the greatest? You know what I'm talking about?
of Trump.
I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
5 minutes of Trump
I'm a very intelligent person.
with Karen Hunter.
No, you're not. So he's at the NATO Summit. Well, actually, he's not. He left. He left in a huff, actually. So the NATO Summit, for those of you who don't know, it is a meeting, periodic meeting of heads of state for heads of government of NATO. You know, the NATO countries. You can France, Britain, Great Britain, United States, Canada. You can go on the list. There's a list on the internet, right? And founding NATO members, it started in 1949. There have been a total of 30 NATO summits. This year, it is in Great Britain. So, of course, all of the heads of states are there, you know, talking. They are determining the agenda for the future, for this current. This is what they do. As I'm reading this, though, I'm reading it through new eyes. My lens, my perspective is totally different. So these people, they gather around. Boris is there, you know, Justin is there, Macron, all of them are there. The Queen is there, too, you know, 'cause she's there to greet people. But they're determining the course that they're going to take globally. I guess they're determining how they're going to divvy up Africa again. You know, what are we going to do with this problem called China? How are we going to come together as a group militarily? What are we going to do with these Mexicans? I don't know. I don't know what they talk about because I guess Barack Obama was in the room, but now I'm wondering if he was complicit. Anyway, these are just thoughts I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. So they're there. Apparently last night, Trudeau, Macron, Boris Johnson, people compare him to Trump, but he participated in trolling Trump with the other fellas and Princess Anne. She was there too. And so Trudeau was like, so we were supposed to meet, you know, but Trump was late. Why are you late? I think Macron asked him, why are you late? And Trudeau said, well, Trump was late. He was late because he had to have a 40-minute press conference off the top. And then he said, you know, you just watched his team and the jaws dropped to the floor and there was some other things that we couldn't hear. But you could see the body language, right? So the video came out. It was viral, you know, that they were all trolling him and laughing at him and stuff. So Trump planned to leave NATO today without holding his planned press conference because, you know, he's in his feelings because he's a very thin-skinned person. He's a very tiny, tiny human being who can't be teased, even though he calls everyone and their mother out of their names. He can't be teased. He's a classic bully. So then he had the nerve to call Justin Trudeau. He said, the Canadian Prime Minister, who's very handsome. We have the clip. Let's play it.
Well, he's two-faced.
Do you think that Germany is too naive?
And honestly, with Trudeau, he's a nice guy. I find him to be a very nice guy. But, you know, the truth is that I called him out on the fact that he's not paying 2%. And I guess he's not very happy about it. I mean, you were there, a couple of you were there, and he's not paying 2%, and he should be paying 2%. It's Canada, they have money, and they should be paying 2%. So I called him out on that, and I'm sure he wasn't happy about it, but that's the way it is. Look, I'm representing the U.S., and he should be paying more than he's paying, and he understands that.
Really? You represent the U.S.? Do you really, Donald Trump? Ain't that the leprechaun, the lion, or feline? So Donald Trump was in his feelings. He called Justin Trudeau two-faced. And then there was a piece where the Queen of England was greeting him in Melania. Mm-hmm. And her only daughter, Anne, who I just knew today is her only daughter.
I didn't know that either.
She has a daughter. We all know about Horseface Harry. What's his name? Not Harry. Charles. And Camilla and all of them.
And not often for good reasons, at least on this side of the pond.
And Andrew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Andrew's in trouble a little bit.
Real infamous right now.
But Anne seems to be the badass of the family. Mm-hmm. Anne seems to be that one. Yeah. So while the guys were talking about Trump, she was right there with him.
It was like, it's a big 40 minutes.
And you almost couldn't even see her. It was just her little hair poking up over the
And then
top.
somebody put like an arrow. There's Anne right there.
Yeah.
So the queen is greeting Trump and Melania. And then Anne's like, not coming over there. No, I have nothing to say to him. So you see the queen saying some, and she's like, I don't know. What? I ain't coming over. So that was what we thought was happening.
And we almost thought there was some side eye because the way the camera, at least on the clip I saw, it was like she was looking at them like,
He said, sorry, low brow, wretched people. But apparently the queen was not chastising her only daughter for refusing to meet Donald Trump. So Twitter, y'all need to stop lying. What actually happened is she was asking the princess which world leader was next. And she was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what the exchange was. So after shaking hands and chatting with Trump, the queen turned her head to greet, and she's looking at the spot where Anne is waiting, and the princess with both hands was like, it's not me.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. It's just not me. And that's it. And she added this lot. And she pointed to members of the household behind her. That's how they say that in Great Britain. These people, this lot.
That actually makes sense.
Right.
Because no matter what we may think about the history of Britain and the monarchy there, what we do know is that decorum and proper etiquette are of the highest value. And it would be really sort of out of step for her to just be, I can't stand this American food. Like, that's how she sounds in my head. I can't stand this American food. Who do you think he is? So that actually makes a lot more sense. But I had a lot of fun kikiing about.
Wasn't it fun?
It was.
And we have to find our moments.
We do.
I also want to talk a little bit of impeachment with you because you're a lawyer. We'll do that after Trump because I think that's an after Trump thing. But there's another Trump story, Trump adjacent. The administration is set to tighten work requirements for recipients of federal food aid. This is pretty mean. During the season of giving, potentially rendering hundreds of thousands of people ineligible for food stamps mid-2020. This is how quickly it's coming. Yeah. The administration said today that it had completed a new rule curbing states' ability to shield adults without dependents from federal work requirements tied to receiving assistance through the program formerly administered via food stamps. And the officials say that the rule will take effect April 1st, 2020, will save the government billions of dollars and encourage more people to work at a time when jobless rates are at a near 50-year low. So basically they're ascertaining that people don't want to work and then they're just living off of the government dole. And so this is going to push them out to work and get a job, those lazy so-and-sos, and we're not going to feed them. Yeah. The rule is first to take effect among Trump administration, among several of his proposals to restrict access to SNAP, which provides aid to 36.4 million Americans, mostly people not that you would think.
Right. They're not all us.
Right. So what do you think of this, Lurie?
So full disclosure, I have vivid memories of waiting in food lines trying to get our block of government cheese, powdered milk, and the lot as a child. Not for an extended period of time. There was definitely a period of time where we were the impoverished class, and we occupied that class in my household when I was a kid. I remember living in a shelter. I remember that to this day I have issues with eating oatmeal because one day when we were in the shelter when I was like 7 or 8 years old, there was a fly in my brother's oatmeal. I have vivid memories of being in a position as a child where my family depended upon support because we did not have money. My parents worked, my mother looked for work, my father looked for work, but we were living in a time and in a space where we did not have access to the resources that people who could go into grocery stores and pull out green cash as opposed to the coupons, because now it's a card. Before it used to be a coupon. It looked like money, but it was fake. It wasn't real money.
Right.
Just it had the shape, the rectangular shape. You had to pull out the clip and you would give it the coupon and you would give it to the person. I have vivid memories of that. I know what it is to be hungry in that sense. Now, we always ate, but I know what it is to be in need and to have a government administration that just, I believe last year, gave billionaires and millionaires the tax break of a lifetime to the point where people like Jeff Bezos don't pay any taxes via Amazon, to where massive corporations who make tens and hundreds of billions of dollars both here, internationally, in ways that they get to pocket all of it. If one of them billionaires were to pay their fair share, that's going to far outweigh the savings that, quote unquote, the government is going to get. I believe it was, what was it, $5 million and change, $5 billion that they would change for save from this program. In addition to that, yes, the jobless rate, unemployment rate is low, not because people have good access to employment. People are typically working 2-3 jobs just to get what one kind of full-time job would give them, meaning they don't have access to being with their families because they are out at work, meaning that the idea of being the latchkey kid and coming home and not having a parent there because your parents are out working 2-3 jobs. You might have seen mom in the morning, won't see her again till the next morning because she's got to work the day shift, the evening shift, the night shift. Daddy's got to hit. They do tag team. That type of reality and creating an economy that forces families into that type of reality is evil. It is morally wrong, particularly in this day and age, and it is timed in a way that is going to have such negative impact, not just for Black people, but it's going to have a huge impact on a lot of Trump supporters, many of whom make up the bulk of the people who receive these benefits.
That's all. When I saw it, I was like, he's so stupid and racist because he thinks that this is going to hurt a certain segment of society, and it's actually going to hurt the people that support him the most.
Yeah.
The poorest counties, 5 of them are in Kentucky, and they're 95 to 99% white. The people that most rely on food stamps and SNAP and government assistance.
Oh, wait, Kentucky, is that Mitch McConnell?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
866-801-8255. So this is interesting, but I think you're right. It's cruel. I was watching Patriot Act with Hassan Minhaj. Is that how you say that?
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, it's amazing. So this latest episode is about billionaires. The billionaires will not save us. And he's talking about the very thing that you're saying. And the reason why people like Bezos and Zuckerberg and others, they give so much. They're so philanthropic. 30% of philanthropy comes through them.
Yeah.
But there's so many breaks that they get.
Right.
Like it's a whole scheme.
Right.
Of how they give, why they give, the kind of breaks that they get, the tax cuts. They even brought Robert Johnson.
Yeah.
Not Robert Johnson. Robert Smith.
Smith. Yeah.
Bob Johnson's a billionaire too, but the other billionaire that forgave loans to the folk at Morehouse this past graduation season, he too.
Yeah.
Supports the tax breaks, and they went in, and it was brilliant and well done. But yeah, we can't even applaud all of the museums and all of the wonderful names that we see on hospitals and things because they're offsetting the evil that they do. They said that they do so much more evil than the good, but the good is what we see with all of the ribbon cuttings at these wonderful events.
We wouldn't need their names on buildings if they were paying the taxes that all the rest of us have to pay, and our cities and municipalities were adequately funded. There was an article I was reading maybe a week and a half ago where I believe it was Jeff Bezos, and allegedly, I will confirm this. But the idea was that this particular millionaire had fought against taxing provisions within that state that would have benefited the homeless population, and then made a $98 million to the homeless. Got lauded and applauded for the $98 million donation to the homeless population. Had that individual paid taxes, billions of dollars would have been going to the homeless. Robert Smith, we appreciate what happened at Morehouse. I mean, take all this other stuff away, just being Black and seeing other Black people being willing to put out money to support other Black, that just feels good. And I think we should hold space for that. I think it's the right thing to do to hold space for that. And then once we've held space for that, we need to ask ourselves, what else does this mean? Because as similar articles have pointed out, there are other companies that he, as a hedge fund person, has invested in where they had massive layoffs just this year. And so, yeah, it's good to applaud charity. I'm more willing to applaud charity when we're all already paying our fair share in supporting the system that we all rely on.
So there's that. We're going to head into the impeachment just a little bit. So we're done with Trump.
God bless the United States.
Anonymous.
Lodestar.
Space Force.